A shocking new lawsuit against music mogul Diddy has emerged, alleging that Beyoncé
birthday. He had the man parade around the house wearing a male part on his forehead. Connect the dots.
I was told that this particular album, it wasn't even supposed to be named Cowboy Carter. This was a last minute decision. This was...
You can't make homes out of human beings.
He was allegedly a weirdo.
Why would you put out a song like this? Why you dry snitching on us? You telling them that we off the... So if our empire come crashing down, it's all on you.
No, if it all comes crashing down, it'll be your fault. I told you he was too flamboyant, too messy, but you couldn't help yourself. Just like with R. Kelly, you gotta keep doing business with people who are just like you. Sick.
Wait, what you say? Hold up, let me tighten you up real quick. You wildin'.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. So y'all thought that Beyonce and Jay-Z was done with the whole Diddy situation? Well, there's a new lawsuit with a new victim that came out saying that Jay-Z, Beyonce, and LeBron James allegedly was a witness.
The Lord is back at it again. When he say everything that's done in the dark will come to the light, he meant every word. Y'all know how there was a little conspiracy talking about the underground tunnels. We're going to discuss that. In a new lawsuit filed against Diddy, there was some implications of tunnels. Tunnels, y'all favorite Beyonce was named in it, but I have a perspective on that, and I was able to read through the whole document of the lawsuit. Now, the lawsuit is centered around, allegedly, Christian's birthday party, which is Diddy's son. Y'all remember when Bronny was showing out? He couldn't act. He didn't know how to act. He was taking a leave of absence. Y'all remember that? We knew why. Rule number one, you don't act guilty. You don't act guilty before time. You over here taking a leave of absence. You stressed out. We already knew what it was. We knew Bronny. We knew Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron, and some other people. I want to say the Estefans, they're all up in this too. Now, for the sake of all these names, because I couldn't keep up, it was too much to remember, okay? You have Joseph Manzaro, somebody named Eric, I meant to write down his last name, Emilio Estefan, Brendan Paul. Now, if you know who Brendan Paul is, he has a lot to do with Diddy. He was the little supplier for Diddy, little substance supplier, okay? You have Andrea English as well. Now, Andrea English is said to was Diddy's assistant. Now, this lawsuit is with them against Diddy. Now, basically, this guy is saying that he was given a substance against his will. He pulled up to his house and he touched the doorknob. Something was on the doorknob. It felt funny. That's all he know. He passed out, didn't come to. So he lost consciousness. Then he said that he kind of was coming to. And the guy that was driving him was Eric. I can't remember who Eric is, and I got to place him. But Eric was on the phone. He called and said, hey, the dude coming too, should I give him more? Then in which he heard the other person saying, no, I already gave him enough. Okay, basically, he mentioned the name of the substance that he gave him. If y'all got time, I would suggest you go read this lawsuit. Very, very much so detailed. Okay, so he gets to the Miami property that we know that Diddy have. Everybody got to give up security badges and stuff. This is demanding. He didn't get all the details. Now, I want to bring up, let's pause here. I want y'all to remember and go look up back in 2021, Diddy was snatching up a bunch of property. Remember where everybody was like, what is he snatching up property for? Well, one of the properties that he snatched up was he bought Gloria and Emilio Estefan's mansion, okay, because he wanted to expand to his property. Basically, Joseph Manzaro is stating that Andrea English is the one that led him, which she is alleged to be Diddy's personal assistant at the time, that she was the one that led him through this tunnel into his home. Now, what they're saying is that the tunnel was connected to the Estefan's mansion all the way to Diddy's mansion. So Joseph goes through a number of things. They're taking showers, taking his clothes off, doing all kind of weird stuff to him. He ends up in this room where he sees Jay-Z and he sees Beyonce. Beyonce starts to ask him questions. Catch it! But Beyonce ain't even implemented like as people think. Beyonce, he said, start asking questions like, who is this man? Who is this white man? And why is he butt naked? What is going on here? She was asking questions as one should. Because where are we and what is going on? I guess she goes on, what is this and what is this about? And in which Diddy goes ahead and he responds, you're about to see what happened to snitches. Ciao. So he was unclothed. A number of things took place in which after all of the situations took place, he goes on to say, that Diddy asks, I think the Eric guy, like, are you gonna get rid of him or something? And then he goes on to say, yeah, I'm gonna take care of him, in which he drops him off at some gang house where they begin to just beat him and do all this terrible things to him. Oh wait, the biggest story of it all, I done forgot LeBron. So as he was passing through going into the mansion, he sees LeBron James, and he was very deliberate, honey. He said he had on a white robe, brown sandals, or brown shower shoes to be exact, and a little bag, whatever them little bags is. You know them bags, it's like you taking a shower, whatever. And he made some little weird statement like, y'all better handle that or something. Bronny, you're with it. You're with the system. I do want to remember all of this is alleged, but there is a lot of conspiracies that had to do with tunnels and other things happening in LA when the fires took place. A lot of people had a lot of conspiracies with that. And now this lawsuit just pops up today. It was filed with the court talking about tunnels, and then you can put two and two together because he was buying up property back in 2021. It all is 1 + 1 is what? One thing we do know, Beyonce was shockery, honey. What is this? We got somebody, a witness. It's a lot of witnesses that is coming up on this case, y'all. May can't get here fast enough. But they said, this is what Joe said. He said Beyonce was like, what's going on? What is this? So that tells me what was really going on with the diddler. Diddler was including folks that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. Sometimes we be thinking people be, and I'm not saying nobody innocent, but what I am saying is she was asking questions. What's going on? She was like, what do we have here? Why is he, and she was very, go read it. She was very specific. Why is he sitting here with no clothes on? She wanted to know what was tea. The other thing I wish he had mentioned was, did she get up? Did she leave? Like, what? That wasn't mentioned. Because if I'm confusing, I got to go. Grab my bag. Let's go, Jay. We out the door. Because why are we still here and we confused at what's going on? And y'all, all of this is alleged. We don't know for facts, but it's filed. You can go look it up. Child. No wonder. We see why Mr. Basketball himself was going on sabbatical. Because he knew it was about to hit the fan. He knew he was having all kind of trouble. Y'all remember that a few months ago? He was devastation. And I said, something finna come out. I said that. Run the tapes back. Go look. I said, something's finna come out. Because he's acting too anxiety-ish. He was giving too much of that.
So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming. And a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report. As she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her and invited her into the home.
Okay.
And it's the neighbor who then called the police, and the police did come out at that time. They also stated that they heard cars screeching and the neighbor went outside and saw a black SUV leaving the premises very quickly. And by the time the police arrived, of course, he was no longer there.
Well, was the neighbor able to identify who it was?
The neighbor wasn't, only that they saw the car leaving, and
Okay.
they only described the truck. They could not tell who was inside, but she told the neighbor at the time who it was and why they were leaving so abruptly.
However, even after making a police report, the police didn't do anything about it. And that's because Diddy had obviously paid them off. This was something he did to a lot of his victims, and that's why it took somebody as famous as Cassie to file a lawsuit before he was finally incriminated.
And due to the high-profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying.
In the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Like Soulja Boy and pretend I'm the first one to talk about this because I'm not. However, the things that's coming out about Jay-Z is kind of stuff that I've already said on this page before. Previously, in one of the videos that I made about Jay-Z, I was saying that he was allegedly a weirdo because, to my understanding, he got with Beyoncé at around 16, 17. He was in his 30s. That's what I truly believe because that's what the timeline add up to. But everybody was arguing in my comment section saying, oh, she was 18, she was 18, she was 18, as if that makes it any weirder. He was in his 30s, she was 18. That's gross. But let's also get into when I talked about how he took Foxy Brown's V-car when she was 14. He was like, what, 23, 24 at the time? What do you have to say about that? Allegedly. Also, what do you have to say about people extremely close to Jay-Z saying that he had huge feelings for Aaliyah when Aaliyah was underage? And lastly, well, Rihanna came out multiple times and said what Jay-Z did to her, saying that there's only two ways out of this hotel room. It's either through this window and we're on the, like, what, 12th floor or 20th floor or something like that, or through the door, but you have to do something to get through the door. Last but not least, y'all love to act like Diddy and Jay-Z weren't really good friends, as in friends, close friends for decades now. The only reason why they're not visibly out talking or out hanging out together, or Jay-Z didn't go to his annual event, the only reason why that's happening is because of the allegations brought up against Diddy, and Jay-Z didn't want to be around that because he didn't want whatever he was doing, allegedly, to come out right along with Diddy's stuff. That's the only reason why they're not hanging out. So, and Jay-Z frequently attended those Diddy parties. So I'm kind of confused why everybody's so surprised.
I was told that this particular album, it wasn't even supposed to be named Cowboy Carter. This was a last minute decision. This was supposed to be her finally stating on record that her and Jay-Z are not together. I don't know what his game plan is going to be when they come to collect, because they're coming to collect. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Beyonce is leveraged because she is right now the moneymaker, her and Taylor Swift. They're making the most money in the music industry. No one is making money like them. I don't know if that gives him kind of an umbrella or a shell if he stays connected to that. She is slaving. How do you just get off tour and you're about to announce another tour? And then he's on the Grammys on the stage now all of a sudden trying to take up for, like, this young lady has worked hard and she still hasn't been given album of the year. How do you have the most Grammys? Yes, how does she have the most Grammys? Why do you need this album of the year?
Right.
Why is it so important?
Right.
Now you want to come for Taylor Swift's spot in Inner Country. I want to see how these ticket sales are going to go. I really do.
Something big is happening behind the scenes, and the whispers are getting louder. Beyoncé, the queen of pop, the global icon, the unstoppable force, may be fighting the biggest battle of her life. But this isn't about music, fame, or another world tour. No, this is something far darker. A desperate escape or something more. Rumors are swirling that Beyoncé isn't just looking to step away from the limelight. She's allegedly trying to disappear completely. The shocking claims? That she's planning to flee the country with her children, cutting ties with everything and everyone, including Jay-Z. And why? Because, according to insiders, she's been battling severe depression, terrifying control, and a web of secrets that could shake the industry to its core. Reports suggest this isn't just about an unhappy marriage. This goes beyond divorce. Some sources allege that Beyoncé has been under intense control for years, forced into business deals, performances, and public appearances against her will. The non-stop tours, the perfume lines, the Ivy Park brand, the whiskey line. Was it all just a front? Was she hustling to build a financial escape route? The Diddy connection, and why it changes everything. Then there's the chilling link to the latest Hollywood scandal. The internet is ablaze with theories that Beyoncé wants out before things take a dark turn. With Jay-Z's name allegedly being dragged into the Diddy investigation, Queen Bey is reportedly terrified of getting caught in the crossfire. Some insiders even claim she was pushed into Diddy's infamous parties, allegedly controlled, manipulated, and forced to play along. And then there's that explosive interview with DaBaby, where he hinted at a bizarre, unexpected meeting with Jay-Z and Beyoncé in a setting that was anything but professional. He didn't name names outright, but the implications were heavy. Fans quickly connected the dots, fueling speculation that Beyoncé had been caught up in an industry underbelly she never wanted to be a part of. The shocking claims of abuse and the bodyguard who spoke out. The allegations don't stop there. Beyoncé's former bodyguard.
I tried to change, didn't I? Closed my mouth more. Tried to be softer, prettier, less awake. I went back home. Fasted for 60 days. Wore white. Abstained from mirrors. Abstained from sex. Slowly did not speak another word. In that time, my hair I grew past my ankles. I slept on a mat, on a floor. I swallowed a sword. I levitated, went to the basement, confessed my sins and was baptized in a river, got on my knees and said amen, and said I mean. I whipped my own back and asked for dominion at your feet. I threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and drank the wine. I sat alone and begged and bent at the waist for God. I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thick in skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book, but still inside me, coiled deep, was the need to know. Are you cheating on me? You can't make homes out of human beings.
Hey yo, B, why would you put out a song like this? Why you dry snitching on us? You telling them that we off the... So if our empire come crashing down, it's all on you.
No, if it all comes crashing down, it'll be your fault. I told you he was too flamboyant, too messy, but you couldn't help yourself. Just like with R. Kelly, you gotta keep doing business with people who are just like you. Sick.
Wait, what you say? Hold up, let me tighten you up real quick. You wildin'. Hey, Dad, look, I'm just like Mommy now. Oh, hey, Blue. I'm conjuring at an 8th grade level now. Okay. Hey, listen to me. Don't make me do you like I did Ye. You hear me? Yeah, Blue, it's good.
I'm not a lawyer, but did you know that before Jay-Z was included in this amended Diddy lawsuit, the firm that filed the lawsuit was sued for extortion by a John Doe? A little bit of context. The extortion lawsuit was filed on November 18th by a John Doe who is described as a celebrity and public figure who resides in Los Angeles, California, and he's bringing this lawsuit under the pseudonym John Doe to avoid the irreparable harm to reputation that he seeks to prevent through this action. The plaintiff will disclose his identity to the court through a sealed in-camera filing or as the court otherwise deems appropriate. Now, in regards to this extortion lawsuit, Tony Busby posted a statement saying that Jay-Z previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. Busby goes on to call the lawsuit frivolous and clearly believes that the John Doe is Jay-Z. So, of course, I read through the lawsuit, so let me tell you about it. The lawsuit goes into who they say Tony Busby is, and child, they had a lot to say. It starts off saying that Busby and his firm are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums of money or else claiming that they will publicly file horrific allegations against John Doe, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, unless he complies with their demands. Again, this was filed 3 weeks ago, so it was before the amended complaint was filed today. Then the suit says that Busby and his firm have a history of extorting money from high-profile individuals by threatening baseless legal action, including a situation from 3 years ago when the FBI apparently opened an extortion investigation in connection with Tony Busby and a client he was representing. The client, through the firm, was suing a football player named Deshaun Watson for SA, and while the lawsuit doesn't say what exactly happened with that FBI investigation, it does say that Deshaun Watson was never criminally prosecuted because 2 separate grand juries rejected the charges, which John Doe and his team say prove that the claims were baseless. This lawsuit also notes that Tony Busby and his firm are currently representing clients who are suing both Yella Beezy and Chris Brown, which again, they say goes to show that this firm represents clients who target or seek out high-profile individuals that they can get a payday from. From there, the lawsuit goes into one of Tony Busby's own situations, saying, quote, Tony Busby was arrested in March of 2016 for driving under the influence, but Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson personally dismissed the case after Busby completed pretrial intervention. The dismissal raised significant concerns because having the district attorney sign off on the dismissal was exceedingly rare. And while the pretrial intervention program generally lasts a year, Tony Busby's case was dismissed after 8 months. Then there's even more claims about Busby taking on clients whose goal is to extort high-profile people, including an NFL player whose name is Brandon McManus? I don't know how to say his last name, but the overall takeaway is, according to this lawsuit, Tony Busby and his firm have a pattern of bringing about outrageous allegations against high-profile people and then using intermediaries to send threatening demand letters to those high-profile people. And if those people refuse to pay, the firm then uses the media to try and destroy those people's reputations. So specific to this instance, the lawsuit says that Tony Busby and his firm have basically tried to capitalize on the bravery of the first 9 victims that came out and sued Diddy by creating a hotline and then advertising that hotline and saying that basically there's money to be made if you have a claim against Diddy and you don't even have to reveal who you are. But the problem, according to this lawsuit, is now that Diddy's behind bars, he won't be making payments to any of these clients anytime soon. So Busby and his team have devised a scheme to obtain payments through threatening anyone with ties to Diddy and that has means and a reputation of their own. So someone like Jay-Z, for example. The suit says that in November of 2024, Tony Busby and his firm made demands to John Doe and his team, and the demands included allegations that John Doe had raped multiple minors, both male and female, who had been rugged at parties hosted by Diddy. The demand that they sent had a time clock on it and a threat that they would take a different course of action if John Doe and his team did not commit to a confidential mediation to resolve this delicate and important matter by the deadline. Now, it does say that John Doe and his team reached out to the Busby firm to better understand the basis for these allegations and whether there was any evidence or real people behind the claims. And although the Busby firm did reveal some details related to what the client had to say, the firm would not provide information on how they were validating what the client was saying unless Jay and his team entered into a confidentiality agreement, and apparently they weren't willing to do that. This lawsuit says that these false allegations have caused John Doe emotional distress, including anxiety and fear for himself and his family, and that these heinous and false allegations could permanently tarnish his reputation, subjecting him to public scorn and condemnation. The fallout would irreparably harm his personal and professional life, destroying his career, legacy, and emotional well-being, while causing significant emotional and economic suffering. And so this John Doe is suing Tony Busby and his firm for extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Child, I'm finna sue for emotional distress. I'm stressed out.